Hi, hello, what is up? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Shannon, and today I am bringing you my 2022 most anticipated releases. I will say, if you hear chomping noises, nail noises, it is all my cutie little dog Coco in the corner. She is munching a treat. She's happy to see me because I just came in from work, so I apologize, but we all love dogs here, so I hope you're okay with interruptions if they occur. I'm going to be breaking this video into 4 chapters. There's going to be fantasy, mystery thriller, romance, and then other category, which is just a mix of everything really. I will be putting titles and dates on the screen, but the dates are subject to change, so don't hold me to them. And I hope you find one book or a couple of books that you'd like to add to your list. And of course, the first book I have on this list is House of Sky and Breath by Sarah J. Maas. This came out on the 15th of February. It is the sequel to Crescent City or House of Earth and Blood, so I can't really tell you what it's about. But the first book, Crescent City, follows Bryce, who is half fae, half human, and she and her best friends are the partying type. They enjoy a good party. Who doesn't though? So like, I feel like I'd fit in with them really well. Anyways, they are all the partying type, and one of Bryce's friends ends up murdered, which ends up Bryce dealing with a lot of grief. They think they have the person responsible for the murder, but then the murders start up again. And after the murders start up again, Bryce is then asked to head the investigation with the help of Hunt Thiller, who is an angel, and he's essentially like her partner and bodyguard in this investigation, and we take off from there. This world is so full of like creatures, like it's so vast, and at the point I'm filming this video, I'm actually reading Sky and Breath, so I am highly enjoying myself. There will be a vlog out, I don't know before or after this video, but this was one of my most highly anticipated 2022 releases, and I'm so happy to have it in my hands. The next book I have is War of Two Queens by Jennifer L. Armentrout. This book comes out on March 15th, and it is the 4th book in the From Blood and Ash series, and I still have to read Crown of Gilded Bones? Yeah? Crown of Gilded Bones. I still have to read the 3rd one, so I can't tell you obviously what this one's about, but the first book follows Poppy, who is a maiden. She is not to be touched or looked upon because she is deemed worthy by the gods and needs to stay pure. And of course that does not really happen, and when she gets assigned a bodyguard named Hawk, their story takes off and their lives intertwine and shit goes down. So I am excited to read this one. Obviously I have to read the 3rd one first, but this is one that I am excited for because I have hope that this series will be amazing. Even though the 2nd book was a bit of a flop for me, I am still holding on to that hope that it will redeem itself. The next book I have here is Gallant by V.E. Schwab. This comes out on the 1st of March and it is a YA standalone. Gallant follows an orphan named Olivia Pryor, and the only thing she has left of her mum is journals that descend into madness, and speaks of a place called Gallant. And then Olivia of course gets invited to Gallant and has to make big decisions of whether she wants to be a protector of this world or not. And this is a V.E. Schwab book. I love V.E. Schwab. I like auto by author for me. Same with Sarah J. Maas. So I'm so looking forward to this. I still have some V.E. Schwab books left to read, and I cannot wait. I cannot wait to read more backlog books and more future releases. So of course this had to be on my list. The next book I have here is The Atlas 6 by Olivia Blake, and this comes out on the 1st of March, but This is already released, I believe, in other countries, but it's not released in the UK yet, so I'm waiting until it's released here. That List 6 follows 6 youngins who are brought together by Alex Blakely, the caretaker of the Alexandrian Society, an exclusive society responsible to take care of the world's knowledge. The 6 have unique abilities that set them apart, and they go in to the society knowing that only 5 of them will walk out. This has been so hyped on TikTok, and every time I see it or every time I hear someone talk about it, I just want to read it. So it's been on my list for a while, but because it's been released in the UK this year, I thought, what better way to like build up excitement even more than putting it on this list. And now we are on to thrillers, and the first book I have here is the Book of Cold Cases by Simone St. James, and this will be released on the 15th of March. And this is an adult mystery thriller. I believe this follows 2 timelines. One is in 1977 in Clear Lake, Oregon, and the town is shaken to its core by a lady killer, Beth Greer. Beth Greer, the perfect suspect that was acquitted and then went into reclusion to her mansion. Then in the 2017 timeline, we follow a blogger, Shea Collins, who is obsessed with true crime and manages to land an interview with Beth Greer. The thing is she putting herself at risk because this woman is the lady killer in a lot of people's eyes. So, like, is it worth the risk, or is she going to be proven innocent? I don't know. I will have to read and find out. The next book I have here is The Paris Apartment, and that will be released on the 22nd of February. This is an adult mystery thriller, and we follow Jess, who is broke and alone and in need of some help. So she asks her brother if she could crash with him in Paris, because of course everything looks better from Paris, even if you're broke. So when she shows up and her brother Ben is not there, she starts asking some questions, like why does her brother live in a building he can't afford, and why are all the neighbors like really eccentric and weird, and where the fuck is her brother? This sounds really good and I'm intrigued. And also it is a Literally Dead book club pick. If you cannot see, I am wearing some merch right now, and of course I absolutely cannot wait to take part in the Literally Dead book club this year, and this book is one of them, so of course it's going to be on my list so I can take part and wear the t-shirts. Next we have The House Across the Lake by Riley Sager. This will be released on the 21st of June. This is an adult mystery thriller, and in this book we follow an actress, Casey, who has just went through a divorce and escapes to her Vermont lovely resort to escape the bad press. And she meets her neighbor from across the lake, I assume, and they become close friends, and she starts realizing that her friend's marriage isn't exactly what it seems. So when her friend disappears, Casey is determined to get to the bottom to the how and why and to find her friend. This sounds really good. I've had ups and downs with Riley Sager, but I definitely think this is one that I want to add on my list, just simply because it does sound really interesting. So yeah. The next book I have here is Reader, I Murdered Him by Betsy Cornwell, that sounded really strange. And this comes out on the 11th of October. It is a YA mystery thriller horror. This comes out on the 11th of October. It is a historical fiction mystery thriller YA book. I am fairly certain. We follow Adele, who grew up in the shadows of her father's mansion and was quite isolated and lonely. But shadows don't last forever, and she is sent to boarding school and becomes this bright new world full of society girls and their rich suitors. But Adele ends up meeting a roguish con woman, and together they fight for justice. Of what? I don't know. Do I care? No. I'm gonna read the book because it sounds good. And I've never read anything from this author, so what better way to sample a new author with a book that sounds really good. Next, we have 9 Lives by Peter Swanson. This will come out on the 15th of March. This is an adult mystery thriller. In this book, we follow 9 strangers who in the mail receive a letter with their name on it. They think nothing of it until bad things start happening to people on this letter. Enter FBI agent Jessica, and she is wondering why her name is on the list and what is happening to these people. So she decides she's going to get to the bottom of it. She's going to see what's happening and hopefully save herself from the bad things that have happened to previous names on this list. This sounds really interesting. I like the whole why are their names on the list kind of like mystery aspect to it, and I am looking forward to this. Next, we have The Last Housewife by Ashley Winstead. This will be released on the 16th of August, and this is an adult mystery thriller. The reason this is on my list is because I think it has the potential to be a Literally Dead book club pick, because I seen an update on Goodreads from Kayla that says potential literally dead. No, literally dead? So like I took that as meaning potential literally dead. And in this book, we follow Shay Evans and her best friends who meet a charming, handsome man at their New York college, and he enthralls them in this world of lies and deceit, but they don't obviously know it at the time because hindsight is a beautiful bitch. Then later, Shay's friend Laurel ends up dead, and Shay decides that she wants to get to the bottom of it. So together with her favourite true crime podcaster, they go on a mission to see what happened to Laurel, and hopefully this charming and lying guy will like be found out. I don't know, I'm rambling. I love things that include true crime podcasts or podcasts of any kind. I just feel like it's a really like underplayed trope. Like The Night Swim was really good. I really enjoyed that. I just enjoy podcasts being brought in to stories, and I feel like it's a trope I really love but don't see enough of. So I'm hoping that this book will give me some of that trope. The next book I have is Stay Awake by Meg Golden. This will be released on the 9th of August. This is an adult mystery thriller. And in this, we follow Liv Reese, who wakes up in a taxi with no memory of how she got in the taxi or how she got to the front door of her house. She then tries to get in when she realizes that there's a stranger in her house, and the only thing that she has is a note on her hand that tells her to stay awake. I'm interested. That's all I need to know. Why was she in the taxi? Why is there a stranger in her house? And what happens if she goes to sleep? Like, I need to know. So this hooked me right away, even though it's not the biggest synopsis. I just read this one part and thought, instantly, I'm adding that to my list because I need to know all of the answers. Now we are going to go on to romance, because I love me a bit of romance. And the first book I have here is Falls Boys by Penelope Douglas. This is a new adult romance, and it is a spin-off from the Bully romance series. It is the kids of the Bully romance series. In this book, we follow Arrowhawk, and he is an upstanding young man and has no record. And I believe the love interest is the complete opposite. She is a criminal and irrational, and they are polar opposites, but they're thrown together in one situation where they cannot leave each other's presence, and it makes them see each other in a different light. I love Penelope Douglas's work. It's not for everyone. I have a fucking blast reading Penelope Douglas's work, so reading the story of the kids of characters I already love is going to be so much fun, and I cannot wait for this book. The next book I have here is Book Lover by Emily Henry. This will be released on the 3rd of May, and this is an adult romance book. In this book, we follow literary. Can I not say that word? Literally. No, not literally, but like a literally agent. I cannot say that word. Oh my god. A literally agent. I can't say that word. A literally agent. A literature agent. A literary agent. Fuck. Okay, that I just discovered something new. I cannot say that word. Okay, I'm gonna have to change that now because I'm gonna look stupid. In this book, we follow Nora Stevens, who is an agent of the book Variety, and she gives in to her sister Libby and decides to go on a vacation in North Carolina where the sun shines and she should be getting chatted up by doctors and like big four-armed muscled bartenders, but instead she keeps running into Charlie Dustra, another agent from her job back in the city, and he is bookish and brooding and she is not impressed. And then I take it romance, mayhem, and, you know, cute sunshine picnics ensues. The next book is Dahlia Green Doesn't Care, and this is by Ashley Heron Blake. This was released on the 22nd of February, and I actually have my copy upstairs ready to go because I'm that excited. This is an adult romance book. It is also sapphic, so my heart is happy. And in this book, we follow Dahlia Green, who decides that she doesn't want to go back to her shitty town that she used to live in. She would rather stay in the city. But her sister kind of guilt trips her into coming to photograph her wedding with a bonus check. And Dahlia is not in a position to say no, so she decides to go. She plans to breeze in and out, get her job done, say hello to her family, and go back to New York and live her lavish photographer lifestyle. Instead, she decides that staying around might not be so bad when Claire Sutherland comes, which is her sister's snobby friend, and Dahlia decides it might be fun to stick around and play for a little while, not realising that her and Claire might have more in common than they think, and that snap judgments shouldn't last forever. And then I take it, romance, chaos, and mayhem ensue. And I love that shit. So like, I cannot wait for this book. I'm really looking forward to it. It does sound really good. The next book I have nothing on. It is Motel by Penelope Douglas. I don't have a date of its release, and I don't know really what it's about. I just know that it's a dark adult romance and it's by Penelope Douglas, and I'm going to read it at some point, hopefully this year if it gets released. It does say that it's meant to be released this year, but again, no information. So I guess we will see later on if I get to read this year. Next, we have I Kiss Sarah Wheeler by Casey McQuiston. This book comes out on the 3rd of May. And in this book, we follow Chloe Green, who is great at winning. She's ready, she needs to go and win valedictorian. Her only rival is Sarah Wheeler. But suddenly Sarah disappears after kissing Chloe, and Chloe decides that she wants to win fair and square and not by default. So together with Sarah's quarterback sweetheart and bad boy neighbour, they team up to find answers and hopefully find Sarah. And hopefully find Sarah to bring her home so Chloe could beat her fair and square. Again, Casey McQuiston, sapphic. I need this, I want this, I'm gonna buy this. Now we are going onto the category as other. This is just where I've put things that I couldn't fit elsewhere. I think the lighting just changed, so I apologise if the lighting changes drastically throughout this video. I'm from Scotland. Like, you get sunshine for 5 minutes and then the rest of the time it can be cloudy, but also like the sun might reappear at times. It might start raining, potentially could snow. I don't know if it's too cold for snow. Like, it's just temperamental up here, okay? So like, I do apologise if the lighting changes, but Scottish weather is a fickle bitch. The first book I have in this category is Murder for the Modern Girl by Kendall Culper, and this comes out on the 24th of May. In this book, we follow a ravishing young mind reader who prowls the street in kitten heels looking for men to kill. It's set in the roaring 20s, it is vigilante justice, and I need it. That's all I need to know. I don't need to know anymore. I want to read this, like, so bad. Like, it sounds good. Even just that little tiny bit sounds so good and I need it. Next, we have The Children on the Hill by Jennifer McMahon. This will be released on the 26th of April. And this is an adult horror historical fiction. In this book, we follow two timelines. The first one is 1977, where Iris is adopted into a family and she gets a new brother and a new sister, Violet and Eric, and together they play and they make stories up, they catalogue, and they become obsessed with the monsters. Then we jump to 2019, where Lizzie is a popular podcaster and she hears of an abducted young girl and decides that she's going to go investigating because she knows very well that monsters are real and her sister is one of them. Like, how good does that sound? Also, this is loosely inspired by Frankenstein, and I just feel like all of these little things together just are going to add up to a great read. Mystery thriller, mystery thriller, it has the podcast trope that I'm really into at the moment, and it's got 2 timelines. It just sounds so good, and I am so glad that I stumbled across this because I want to read it. The next book I don't actually have much information on again. It's Daphne by Josh Malerman, and this will be released on the 28th of August. All I know about this is it's a slasher horror, and it is Daphne is more than the female Freddy, she's more than the female Jason, and whatever you do, don't think of Daphne. All I needed to know about this was that it was a female slasher. All the slasher films are male killers, so it'll be interesting to see a female slasher killer, and that is all I needed. I am a horror movie fan, and my favourite horror movies are the slasher genre when they're done well, and I think this is going to be a hit for me. I'm hoping it's going to be a hit for me, so added to my list. The last book I have here is The Weight of Blood by Tiffany D. Jackson. This will be released on the 6th of September, and I cannot wait for this. Again, Tiffany D. Jackson is an auto-buy author for me now. Everything I've read, I've enjoyed. I didn't really enjoy her previous horror that I read. I love Tiffany D. Jackson's writing and love to support her work, so of course I'm going to read this book. Of course I'm going to buy this book. This is a remix of Carrie, and it takes place at a school's first integrated prom. And that sounds like one hell of a ride. Tiffany D. Jackson is an amazing writer, and I believe she can do this justice, and I'm so ready for it because it sounds fucking awesome and I need it. So that is it. This is going to be a part 1. I will be taking out a part 2 later on in the year when more information becomes available on later releases, and maybe some of these releases that I don't have huge details on will be more refined by part 2. But yeah, that is all of the books that I am excited and ready for. I am trying to take an active look at not buying books just for the sake of buying books because they're cheap or because like I have fleeting interest in them. I am making this video so that I kind of stick to the books that I have interest in after researching. So by the time that I do the part 2 of this video, hopefully I will have read some of these and I can check in on ones that I have read. And I just feel like I want to hold myself more accountable on the books I buy and the books I read. I don't want to be wasting money on books that I don't have much interest in or knowledge about. I would rather do my research, make this video, and then hopefully read some of these books. So in the next video, part 2 of this, I can tell you about more books that I'm excited about and also tell you about these books that I am excited about, and hopefully I will have read some of them by then. Let me know if any of these books made it onto your TBR list. Let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to know if you added any of them or if you've got any interest in them before you watch this video. Is there any of them you haven't heard of or any that you've heard loads of? Let me know in the comments down below. And please subscribe, like. I will put a video somewhere on the screen. And thank you so very much for watching. Stay safe, happy and healthy, and I shall see you next time. Bye. The next book I have here is The Atlas 7? 6? Wow, that's the wrong number, Shannon.